Hey everyone, I'm Lorraine Driscoll, founder of Building Better Brains, and I just wanted to hop on quickly and talk about the most powerful way to influence brain chemistry and how that is connected to your child's learning difficulties, and often is a factor that is so often overlooked when it comes to learning and behavioral difficulties. And I had this realization when I was still teaching and started studying holistic nutrition, just expecting to learn more about, how to improve health. I was struggling with my own autoimmune condition and was shocked to start making the connection between how impactful nutrition was with learning disabilities. And people can be so frustrated, especially moms who feel like they're doing all of the things, all of the good things. And I'm not even talking like IEPs and parenting strategies and tutoring and all of these amazing programs that might be Band-Aid approaches. I'm talking about moms who are even doing like the bottom-up approaches like brain training and so forth, and they are so frustrated and they feel like they've tried everything and they don't know what else to do. Nutrition is often the piece that is so often overlooked and just gets pushed to the wayside. So, and I don't even want to say pushed, it doesn't even get addressed in the school system or the education system. If you go for a psycho-ed evaluation, chances are, that the person who did the psycho-ed evaluation is not going to tell you how much of an influence gut health and brain chemistry has on your child's ability to read, on your child's ability to memorize. I'm not just talking behavior and focus here. So what is just really critical to understand is that what creates brain chemistry is ultimately nutrition. And I know that's a bit simplistic, and I'm going to dive into it in a bit more depth right now, but I just want to be clear that nutrition has a profound influence on brain chemistry, for better or for worse. If we're not getting those nutrients, or if we are, it's going to determine how well our brains are able to function and so forth. And if this kind of leaves you going, I'm not clear on this. So several studies found that kids with learning disabilities had severely low levels of zinc in their sweat compared to their neurotypical peers who did not have learning disabilities. Countless studies have found that kids with dyslexia have severely low levels of omega-3s, essential fatty acids. Kids with ADHD, have significantly low levels of B6, to the point that when they started supplementing with it over the course of 3 months, some of these kids actually were able to go off Ritalin completely. So huge effects with just 1 or 2 or 3 nutrients in these studies. And then imagine when you start putting all of this together, and that's just nutritional deficiencies, right? This goes so much deeper than just nutritional deficiencies when we're talking about brain chemistry and the impact of food and all of that type of stuff. And so we almost never look at this factor when a child has dysgraphia, when a child has visual processing disorder, when a child has dyslexia, all of that type of stuff. So, if a child's writing or reading is poor, the answer is always practice, not looking at how these nutrients or deficiencies or how brain inflammation and toxicity can impact processing and memory and visual processing and their ability to process sounds and all of that type of stuff. So really, if you're thinking of it like in terms of how to help your child as a recipe, the missing ingredient is definitely nutrition and gut health. Whenever we just skip over that, it's really what boils down to a holistic approach. So basically, nutritional deficiencies, as I said, are just the tip of the iceberg. In my program, we get into all kinds of stuff like food sensitivities, toxicity, which I mentioned already, and so forth. And then the other, it's just important to understand basically that the reason your child is struggling with reading every night and why maybe you hate evenings. Like, I talk to so many moms who feel so guilty because they love their kids to pieces, but they're like, I just hate evenings. I hate how hard it is to get my child to read and how frustrating it is and how upset they get. I hate, that my kid thinks they're dumb and that they hate going to school, and they're doing all of these good things. And it really can be a huge game changer when we start shifting things with nutrition and so forth. And if you're thinking but my child eats healthy meals, how can this be? My other children don't have this and we all eat the same food. I can totally see where you're going, but this doesn't make any sense that it's nutrition. So keep in mind, there are a few factors that are going to influence that. So number one is there's genetic predispositions. So for example, there's certain, with what has been found with dyslexia and ADHD is that certain families carry certain genetic variations that cause them to metabolize or utilize certain nutrients differently or even insufficiently. So they need more of it or they need a certain kind. And all of that plays a role, which we kind of dive into in my program and so forth. And it's not just about eating right. It's not just about supplements. Sometimes it's poor absorption because there's low stomach acid, because there's, maybe not enough zinc or other nutrients that are needed to make that stomach acid. Sometimes it's poor absorption because the gut health is compromised, which so many of our kids have, so many of our adults have. It's like rampant in our society. And just toxicity will totally mess with brain chemistry. So all of these definitely play a role, and we have to look at all of those factors and look at them, I always say right action at the right time. So if we start doing the wrong thing at the wrong time, we're not going to get the results that we were hoping for. So I want to share, sometimes the results can be huge, and I always like to manage expectations, and I don't want to lead anyone to believe that this is something that's going to change overnight. But I have had clients two clients now, we removed dairy and their visual processing issues completely disappeared. I had another client, we did a food sensitivity trial, and once we removed corn, all of a sudden his memory issues improved significantly to the point where he was bombing tests before, and now he was acing them. Is it usually that cut and dry with just one thing? Unfortunately, no. And that's why we have to dig, put on our detective hats, and do the right action at the right time. So basically, a psycho-ed evaluation tells you often what you probably already know as a mom, right? Most times when people go for psycho-ed evaluations, moms will say, it didn't tell me anything I didn't already know. It just confirmed my suspicions. But you need to go further. You need to go deeper into not just the brain training, which is absolutely critical when we do my program as well, but you need to go further into nutrition, toxicity, food sensitivities, drainage, all of that type of stuff. So I do that in my program. If you want to get a taste of my program and start getting an idea of what's really going on with your child, I have created the advanced brain screening, and it's on sale right now for $197 instead of $297. And basically it gives you a good screening of how biochemistry could be playing a role with your child's brain, as well as really dives into brain chemistry or brain organization in terms of retained primitive reflexes, if there's a hemisphere that's weak, cerebellum weakness, all those layers that could be affecting your child. Because it's not about the diagnosis really, right? That tells us what we do about it. But if we really want to dig deep into the root cause, we need to find out, okay, it's not enough to know we have ADHD or a learning disability or dyslexia or dysgraphia. We need to know what's causing it. And the way we figure that out is by doing first, what I love in my program is the advanced brain screening. It gives us so much information about where the breakdown is happening and what action we need to take to correct that. So message me, DM me if you're interested in knowing more about my 6-month program. If you want the advanced brain screening and you're watching this on Instagram, you can grab the link in the bio or click the link in the bio, and that'll lead you to the advanced brain screening, and or just send me a message and I'll get that to you, the link to you to get that and get started. Thanks for watching, everyone.